Hey y'all, so this is the second lesson that we're doing for week 4 on South America. So we're going to talk about South American dances. Dancing is a huge part of the Hispanic and Latino culture, and so learning about those different types of dances is very important, especially because it's not just salsa and bachata, which are the two main ones that we hear about all the time. Those are actually more commonly known in the Caribbean countries, so in Dominica, in Cuba, and Puerto Rico, as well as Mexico. So in Argentina, the big dance that they do there is the tango. And so that actually has roots in African slaves and African dancing. And you're going to see a theme here, right? A lot of this came from Africa and from those slaves and from those tribal practices. Almost all music can find its roots back in Africa from the use of different beats and melodies. So it actually combined with different European dance styles, and that is what developed into the tango. And so the tango is usually danced with both partners holding each other very close, chest to chest, and it's led by the male partner's movements. And so this is actually a dance that's supposed to evoke huge feelings of melancholy and homesickness. It's a very passionate dance. The working class immigrant communities, those were the people who ended up popularizing the dance, which is where you get those types of feelings of melancholy and homesickness. It's from those working class immigrants dancing, and that's where you kind of get that type of style. And so, with all these dances, there is a YouTube link that will show you more of the dance and even how you can do it. So, that is that one for the tango, which is Argentina. So the next one we're going to talk about is the Danza de la Botella, which is Paraguay. And so the name of this dance, it translates to the bottle dance, and it's a very famous dance where women will balance a bottle on their head, and it'll be at least one. It requires a whole lot of strength and balance, and professionals will actually typically balance 4 or 5 bottles on their head, stacked on top of each other. So the origin of this dance, it's pretty unclear, but most people think that it came from women who would bring the bottles of water to the farmers during colonial times, and they ended up just balancing water on their head. And so that's in Paraguay where they do that one. So Bolivia uses the caporales, which is different elements of indigenous Bolivian folk dance. And the main influence for creating this dance was the saya dance. And this was also practiced by the African slaves in the Yungas region of the country during colonial times. So the saya, the leader, is the corporal, who who was presented as the leader of the slaves and would dress in this military style attire with these heavy boots and a really large hat on their head. And then the fourth one down here that we're going to talk about. We're not going through all the countries in South America. This would end up being a very long set of notes for you guys. And so instead, I just kind of picked 4 that I thought were pretty interesting and some countries that people don't necessarily talk about all the time. When we talk about Brazil, we talk a lot about Peru and we talk a lot about Venezuela and Brazil, not necessarily Bolivia and Paraguay. And so the last one is the cumbia, which was from Colombia. And so the original representations of the cumbia were slaves imitating their Spanish owners, and the women would dress in these long, colorful, layered dresses, and the men wore really large hats and would carry a red handkerchief. And so the cumbia steps are often really short and sliding, and they were supposed to represent the chains worn by the slaves who created the dance. And this has changed a little bit over time with the addition of these new types of instruments. And with the popularization of the style, it started to change just a little bit, but you can still see some of the early influence in contemporary or modern cumbia. And so there are all those YouTube links that teach you guys. If we were in class, we would be doing this all together. However, we cannot do that. So instead, here is also a chart on the bottom here that show you the steps of the tango if you're more of that visual learner. If not, YouTube and TikTok are how you guys should learn. And so the second little activity that I created for you guys this week is actually for you guys to create your own TikTok dance. Create the newest dance craze with TikTok by gaining influence from the South American dances. So I want you guys to pick one of them. It doesn't even have to be one that you see on this list here. You can research a little and choose something else. So if you are from Peru and you really want to do a Peruvian dance, please feel free to. And use those steps and create your own TikTok dance. Teach it to your family. Have fun with it. Make a video of it. You can post it to TikTok. I will be posting 1 or 2 examples of that on a TikTok for you guys. That can be found in the description of the activity with my own world geography teaching TikTok for you guys. Alright, so I want you guys to have fun with that activity and get as creative as possible with it. And you can share it to me, share it with the world, teach it to your friends, to your family. And I will see you guys next week. So stay safe. And remember, I love and miss you guys.